Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the Vancouver Sevens. This one, South Africa versus Ireland. These are normally entertaining games, and the Blitzboks, after a win over the All Black Sevens in round number 1, will be feeling extremely confident heading into this next contest. But they have got an Irish side full of youngsters as well as a couple of their veterans. Have to wait and see how they do go. But looking through at the starting lineup, first of all, for the South Africans, they've decided to make one change first off, and that is Sebastian Job coming into the starting lineup. That is rather than Kua Nokia did find himself starting in the last match. Saviwe Soyers-Wapi, he moves into the starting side alongside Shilton van Wyk, Selvin Davids, David Brits, Ronald Brown, and Impivisa, the last man there. So no Ryan Oosterhuizen, unfortunately suffering an injury in the very first contest of the Sevens comp. Looking through at the Irish starting lineup, it is Hugo Lennox, Josh Costello, Mark Roach, James Dillon, Tyg Brophy, then also will be Josh Kenny and Brian Mullins. So definitely not as stacked as we have seen sometimes in the past for this Irish team. You know, no Terry Kennedy in this contest. They haven't got that Harry McNulty size that they used to. Noel Comerford also not in the starting lineup, but I still think they'll be competitive, and hopefully we can see a decent showing from this South African team and the Irish as well. Whoever wins this game, if it is South Africa in particular, will be sitting extremely nicely in this pool and should be able to make their way through to the quarterfinals. The Irish at the moment, I believe that they are sitting not too badly either. You know, we're still early enough that any side can finish at the top, so we'll have to wait and see who it is. Hi, says PSG, welcome in. I reckon this will be an awesome game for South Africa. Don't see Ireland beating them. Go South Africa. Got my snacks and beers ready now. Says Matthew. Don't think too many in South Africa will watch this particular game. 3:25. Most will be sending the Z's up, says Bruce. Yeah. See, that's normally around the time that the URC games start here in New Zealand, and they are brutal, to be fair, in terms of getting up at the right time for those ones. They are just showing the last 5 meetings. We have seen 3 wins for the Irish. The last one was for the South Africans, and they did get the win there. But the co-captains Impivisa and Selvin Davids is New Zealand soon. They are very soon. Straight after this game, we are going to get to see New Zealand versus Australia. But off the bench, Comerford, Jordan Conroy is there too. O'Grady for the Irish, and then of course that pace, Ricardo James Duarte, Kua Nokia, and also Tristan Lades for the South Africans. We have got there, got to turn Sky on, says PSG. So yeah, it is on Sky Sport 4 here in New Zealand, or a little bit harder to find than normal. We see the classic green and gold for the Blitzboks, whereas the Irish, they are wearing the green shorts with a white top on for this matchup. Vancouver Sevens, of course, has already been extremely entertaining. Must win for the Blitz, says Vapello. Although a must win for the Irish as well. They did lose by 10 in their first contest up against Australia. So, you know, they'll be fighting for everything that they've got here. As our New Zealand game, then the Hurricanes, that is the plan. Yep. So, yeah, New Zealand. Then it is going to be the Hurricanes versus the Drua. Then the Blues versus Highlanders. Then the game of the URC between the Bulls and the Lions. Then the 2 matches of the Six Nations. Then more Sevens. Then a little bit of a break. Then more Sevens, which are the quarterfinals. Honestly, it sounds like I'm just making this up, but that's the upcoming schedule. We're going to be talking for another 15 or so hours today, so hopefully you don't get too sick of my voice. But we're now ready to go. And Selvin Davids, he will be kicking off this one to get us underway. Oosterhuizen injured. Yeah, sadly his knee, by the looks of it, in that last match meant that he was going to be missing. But Davids kicks off high. Who's playing Six Nations tomorrow? It will be Wales versus Ireland in the first match, and then Scotland and England in the second. So a couple big matches. Now short ball to Selvin Davids. They might want to check the flatness of that pass, but I believe it is going to be the first try. 15 seconds in, and the Blitzboks are already on the board. He's up to 92 tries throughout his career, Selvin Davids. He might even get to the 100 before the end. Yeah, that's forward, unfortunately. But it is going to remain as a try, and damn, that was quick, says PSG. Yes, Oosterhuizen is out, says Bruce. Now lining up this kick. And it has gone over, making the score 7-0 in favour of the South Africans. Go South Africa, says Matthew. He's only 30 years of age as well. Selvin Davis probably got about, I'd say, 3 or 4 more years in the Sevens if he really wants it. He's had 39 tournaments. He only debuted in 2017. Now, kicked off high, nicely taken by the Irish this time. Now, Mark Roach, in the middle of the field, he is there to use quite a lot of his skill up against the South Africans before, and that's going to be the penalty going in favour of Ireland. Hugo Lennox will kick this ball into touch. Very good kick. How will I catch you around 8 p.m? Says PSG. And go South Africa, says Matthew in there as well. That wasn't Selvin Davids going off, was it? I don't think it was. I think he was going off to get the ball to do the line out, but it looked like they were having a little bit of a technical difficulty with Ronald Brown's little pack as well. Now, Brophy gets the throw right for Ireland. Currently sitting on the halfway line, Hugo Lennox looking for that next gap. Of course, off the bench, they have got the likes of Conroy and Comerford. Have proven very handy for Ireland in the pass. Back off to the right-hand side, Mark Roach. Bounce pass. Was a bit of a poor one, but cleaned up by Josh Kenny right next to the touchline. Already finding themselves that 7-0 down. Ireland playing catch-up pretty much from the very start of this match. Lennox tries to draw and pass, but never passed, so just drawed. Now off to the right again, Ireland. Trying to find their way through. Much better pass from Mark Roach. That looked close to forward. But it is play on. Okay, I think we've seen 2 forward passes in this match, and neither have been called. But the good news is it's 1 for each side. So we're at the even point. Now offload. Oh, that looked a little bit high from David Brits. Stello gets it away to Dylan, and the turnover for Ronald Brown. Now they're going to be taking the quick tap. Who is the fastest try ever in Rugby Sevens? I'm not actually sure of the fastest. I mean, 15 seconds is pretty rapid, but we've seen tries, I think, in 10 seconds. Pretty much just claiming it straight from kickoff. Nice inside ball to Saviwe Sawyers Wapi, and it is another try now for the Blitzboks. Hi, all and Hamish, says Robert V. But now, go back and get the ball, I think the referee just said. Nice inside ball from Selvin Davids. Lured in 2 defenders and then got it to Saviwe Sawyers Wapi, who is starting in this contest. And that one has gone over. Sitting 13th of all time in the try-scoring department. Saviwe Sawyers Wapi, 153. Of course, Sanetla sitting with 230. Cecil Africa, he's right up there as well. But Saviwe, as long as he keeps playing, maybe eventually he does get there. I thought you have no sponsors. Is he your sponsors of lingerie? Good choice. No, that's just on the scoreboard, unfortunately. So, yeah, I'm not getting paid for it. It's just I couldn't get it to go away. Like, anytime I clicked it to move, it would just pop back up. But, yeah, we're getting $0 from that. But now, sitting 2:50 left on the clock. Hugo Lennox again will be able to kick this one towards the touch line. Now 45 metres. Ireland, they will need a try before half-time. I think we can play well when Oosthuizen is not there. Says Mapella, I think so. Like, whether Oosthuizen is there or not, the South African side is still absolutely stacked with talent. Ropey. Now going to try and get this ball in. And they decide against jumping for it to the Blitzboks. Now off to the left, high all, says Robert there. Passed out wide. Mullen trying to find his way through. Driven backwards by Selvin Davids. Lennox. Seems very stagnant at the moment for the Irish attack. They're not making a huge amount of meters. They're just willing to hit it up. One pass. And that's about it. Now Mark Roach goes through the hands. And this ball very close to the touchline. Ireland losing another 30 metres or so. Lennox, wide cut out pass. They're going to have to run pretty much the full length of the field if they want to score a try here. Moving up to the 22. Another good low tackle. David Britz on the ball. Wins the turnover penalty. And now the quick tap taken by Job. Ball is still there. Oh no, knock on forced. Good pressure there from Ireland in the breakdown. But South Africa lethal in those turnover situations. Anytime they're in the, or even in the hunt for being able to get the turnover, they seem to be able to get their hands on it. Just 1 minute remaining in the first half. Ireland once again are way down the field in terms of, compared to the goal line, they're about maybe 92 metres to go. South Africa style with sevens is pretty tough. Says Freedom. Yeah, when they get it right, they can be unbeatable. When they get it wrong, then, you know, you almost go, is this the same team that we just witnessed dominate someone else? Like, they can be a bit up and down, but when they're consistent, I don't think there's many sides that are better. So, like, some would argue maybe Fiji in terms of their head-to-head and when they're playing consistently well, but just two different styles. Argentina are a bit the same. Right, advantage going the way of the Irish. Now passing off to the right. Trying to drive towards the touchline. Somehow keeps the ball in the field. I'll play some quick hands here. Hugo Lennox offloads now. This is a chance. Noel Comerford. Another wide pass. That seems to be the tactic at the moment for the Irish. Selvin Davids in a foot race. Gonna try and catch him and misses the tackle. Real mistake from that man. And the try goes the way of Ireland. They will score it between the sticks at the end of the first half. And Josh Kenny, the man who does get there, he looks absolutely shattered now, though. I'm having to try and outpace Selvin Davids. So they're good when they're good, pretty much. And they're awful when they're awful, is the best way of describing it. But that's just the gist of sevens. You know, one day you can be looking unbeatable, and the next day you look like you don't know what rugby sevens is. I have been very impressed with South Africa Sevens and the Fijian Sevens, says Matthew. Yeah, like they've been consistently strong for a while. That kit's gone over. Someone else who needs a lot of credit at the moment is definitely Spain, though. Like, being able to beat a lot of strong opposition. Do we think Ireland cover the minus 15.5 spread? Hard to say. Sevens is unpredictable. I always say it. Super Rugby and Sevens are the two competitions I would not bother betting on unless you're happy to lose like 50% of the time, which in that case you might as well just not bet. But, you know, Ireland only down by 7 at the moment. South Africa are this kind of side that could run away with it. But also, you know, their opposition in this game, the Irish, they also could have a good second half. It just depends. You know, it depends who comes out better after the break. But either way, I think it is going to be a bit back and forth throughout the second half. But now, next game that we are covering on the channel, it is going to be the matchup between Australia and New Zealand. And that is going to be starting in only around maybe 10 minutes time, somewhere around that 2:50 mark. And like I said, we will be doing that game. Then we're jumping into Super Rugby, 2 matches back to back for that competition. Fiji and draw are in action, so if you love watching the Fiji Sevens having a go, Fiji and draw, they play a very similar style. And Sevens was fun to play in school. See, our school never really got into Sevens, but I wish they had. Like, for us, it was always, they started with Bull Rush, then eventually that got banned because of all the injuries for the kids. And then after that, it kind of changed to a bit of rugby league, but it was more so touch rugby league. All right, so give us your quick predictions for tomorrow's Six Nations. Is that just so that you can bet on them, EJ, or is it actually a genuine question? That one's going to be kicked off. We have got the Australia has improved so much in Sevens, says Freedom. Sevens was fun to play in school, says Matthew. Now going off to the left-hand side. Ireland trying to work hard. Oh, another penalty going their way. I believe that was for South Africa, leaving their feet in the breakdown. Shilton van Wyk. Not too happy about it. 6.5 minutes remaining here in the second half. Of course, that can lead to 4 or 5 tries for these teams. They are both skillful enough. They are looking like a lot of tired bodies. Luckily, this is their last game of today. They have Ireland for the Grand Slam, but just prediction says EJ. Yeah, I think Ireland, I would be extremely surprised if they don't beat Wales. But you just never know. Randomly, we might see some sort of miracle performance. And then a lot of the Welsh would be able to say, oh, it was Gatland all along that caused us our problems. But, that Scotland-England game, honestly, it depends on how Scotland show up. Because up against Ireland, they were lackluster. But, on their given day, they can be extremely strong. England look like they should win because it's a home game as well. But, honestly, Scotland could cause the upset there. That's going to be the penalty going the way of South Africa. Why is Pool B so stacked? It's just the way that it's unfortunately worked out in terms of the draw. Most of the good sides, or 4 real contenders, you could even say, have ended up in the same group. Then some would argue that, Fiji and Spain being in their group, they're both, I would say, the 2 confirmed going through. Then alongside that, in Argentina, Kenya, France, it's not a bad group. Great Britain in there too, of course, an upset. Honestly, it seems like it's really stacked, but when you compare it to some of the others, it is, of course, still absolutely stacked, but there are other tough groups in there. I think that the one with Argentina, France, etc. will be a intriguing one. A little bit of frustration there from Hugo Lennox, swearing at the grass. Something I often do in my spare time. But, a couple changes be made. Tristan Lades will make his way on for Ronald Brown, who had a lot of attitude when he was getting taken off the field. He kind of did what the toddlers do. They go, I don't want to go to bed. But yeah, he definitely wanted to stay out there for a bit longer than he's allowed to. I believe they've also taken Selvin Davids off. That's going to be for Ricardo James Duarte. When England plays Scotland, form goes out the window. Scotland have won their last 4 encounters. Says Robert. Yeah, although, the thing is, though, if you base it off the most recent game, yes, Scotland normally show up for that game, but, the safe bet is, at the moment, with the English, there's going to be another penalty going the way of the South Africans. But like I said, if if Scotland play well, they can win. And I think that that's something that's happened a couple of the times recently, is whether they play well in the game prior or not, they seem to learn enough to then find a way of beating the English. And it seems to be the contest that they really focus on throughout the Six Nations too. So that seems to help them out. But now it's going to be a scrum feed for the South Africans. 3.5 minutes remaining in this contest. Ricardo James Duarte giving Lennox just a little push. And England and Scotland will be a smashing game, says Matthew. Yeah, it certainly has the potential. England-France was an absolutely brilliant contest of the Six Nations, and a lot of people are still saying that's going to be match of the Six Nations, even with the rounds that are remaining. But England-Scotland has that seesaw type of chance that it could be. All right, free kick goes the way of the Blitzboks. Oh, Ricardo James Duarte, he went to the short side and slipped over. It's going to be another free kick in favour of the South Africans. That's going to be for not being 10 metres back. In this case, they can't be 10 metres back because they are on their own goal line, but Saviwe Suez-Wapi going to take the quick tap, goes off to Ricardo James Duarte. Still working that little bit further forward. Trying to find the pass out wide was David Brits. Are we saying the same thing? England should beat Scotland, but says Robert. Now Tristan Lades. Chance here again to the left-hand side. Shilton Van Vyk goes off to David Brits. Chance out wide. Nice stepping. Ricardo James Duarte here's through, and that should just about be the game. Only 2 minutes remaining. The Irish, if they wanted any chance here, they had to score when they were just out from the Blitzboks line. Now, Ricardo James Duarte to line up this 3 points, adds the extra 2. Making it 21 points to 7. Gave that kick plenty, so that'll go right up into the stands at BC Place. And just one too many missed tackles for the Irish. Eventually was going to be the chance to go through. So there might be a bit of an injury here for one of the Irish players. Looks like Josh Kelly, or Kenny, I should say, sorry. The man who did manage to score the lone try for the Irish. He does not look happy at the moment. I'm thinking either knee or hamstring, just the way he is kind of slouched over on that side. Could even be maybe something in the back. Looks like he's, rubbing his right leg. Looks like he's going to continue, though. And main game South Africa, says Matthew. Now getting ready to kick this one off. They have got 10 seconds to use at South Africa, so they will use up as much of that time as they can. Tristan Lades scanning the field. And now, nicely claimed by Ireland. Taken by Niall Comerford. And going back across. Oh, a little bit of a stutter step there from Hugo Lennox. High shot coming in from Sebastian Job. Now Ireland, they will know that the chance of getting within 7 is still on the cards. And of course, that will be an extremely handy thing to have. Are you going to commentary Spain versus Fiji? I believe so. That'll be about our 15th hour of commentary that one has taken place in. But I think that is on the cards. Now, line out here. That will also have South Africa versus Australia not long after, I believe. Thrown in, that's not straight from Ireland. It's knocked on by South Africa, and they'll go back now for the scrum. I think maybe South Africa were asking for a not straight one there, but because they didn't contest, I believe the rule has changed in the Sevens as well, that you can have it not as straight as you used to need it. But now 30 seconds left. Brophy to put the ball in here for the Irish. That's gone straight in, straight out through the middle. Lennox sits down. David Brits. Ball's there for Ireland, but onto it again for South Africa. Tristan Lades. He's waiting for the ball to pop out the back after Nokia did manage to get the steal. It looks like South Africa looking for one more try here. 8 seconds remaining. Counter ruck. And another penalty goes against the Irish. Tristan Lades. Now Ricardo James Duarte gets it away and put it in the afterburners. And Job will get it. Do you watch Rugby League? We watch a little bit of league. Not as much as I really used to. A lot of injury for this man, but 3 tries throughout his career. And he is on the score sheet right at the end of the match. And yes, says Papello, I really hope Italy make their game against France a memorable one, regardless of the outcome, says Robert. Yeah, that's the type of game that could be very one-sided. But at the same time, like you said, Italy, if they can somehow pull something off just to keep them in the contest and make it competitive like it was at the Rugby World Cup. We've got to remember in that contest, Italy actually did push the French at times. Yes, it was marginal, but still doing enough. But that is going to be the end of this match, ladies and gentlemen. And the end score 28 points to 7 in favour of South Africa. We will now make our way through to the next live stream. And that is going to be Australia versus New Zealand. But nonetheless, I do thank you all very much for tuning in. I will see you all for the next one.